that, because we as Seventh-day Adventists understand the role that the United States is to play, not only now but in the future. And to me, it's refreshing to see that your love for your country is causing you not to just say, oh, well, we're all going to, you know, oblivion and great, where Jesus is about to come. You're actually trying to make your country a better place.
Absolutely.
And you've been very brave in doing that. Tell me about the United States today and the whole political landscape.
Sure. Well, recognize that, you know, this is a country that was established for, of, and by the people. It was never supposed to become for, of, and by the government. And people were supposed to be free in every way. Freedom of speech, freedom of religion. All of these things are under enormous attack right now in the United States. They have been for a while. There's an agenda. And, you know, people who read a lot know exactly what I'm talking about. If you go back and you look at the writings of Karl Marx and Vladimir Lenin and, you know, Saul Alinsky, and they talk about how important it is to bring the United States into line with everybody else in order to achieve a new world order. But in order to do that, they would have to knock down the strongest pillars, the Judeo-Christian belief system and the strong family values. Those are the things that are under attack. And that's why I am coming out so strongly against those things. And also the fact that, you know, we have to be willing to stand up for what we believe. Most Americans actually do believe in God. But the media has been so hard on people who proclaim their faith that most people are afraid. And they've been beaten into submission by the political correctness police. And I have declared war on political correctness. And, you know, a lot of people have joined that war. And so it's obviously getting quite a bit of traction. And I don't know what role the Lord has for me in all this. I do know, in looking at prophecy, that the United States will play a big role, that there has to be a return first to a religious awakening, and more than likely, any persecution, particularly of the Sabbath, will come from the right, not from the left. And people will get a little bit overzealous, and then they'll say, see how much better things are now that we've come back to God, and we need to go completely back to Him, and we need to go, you know, and they're going to go overboard. I hope by that time I'm not around anymore.
Well, Dr. Carson, we give you, if you ever do become president, you're invited back to preach for us. Look, I'm looking from afar, and we're certainly praying, and I listen to the courage that you have. That's what impresses me about Dr. Carson, because to have President Obama sitting 6 feet away and to get up and say the things you said wasn't a soft thing to do.
No,
it was a brave thing to do.
And there was a penalty for that. You know, I got an IRS audit for the first time. First, they said, we just want to look at your real estate holdings. But, you know, we're meticulous. We cross every T and dot every I. So they couldn't find anything. They said, well, let's just expand to an entire audit. And they couldn't find anything. Well, let's just do another year. And for 3 months, they kept it up. And finally, they couldn't find anything, so they went away. But also, one of the organizations I sat on the board for that helps the children of prisoners. And they got $1 million grant every year from the Justice Department. Well, after that, the Justice Department called them up and said, we know who's on your board. We don't have any money for you. And there were several other things that I'm not free to talk about, but it's unbelievable. But the thing that keeps me going is Romans chapter 8. It says, if God be for you, who can be against you? You don't need to fear anybody as long as God is there.
It's wonderful.